Now, so hey everyone, welcome back to season 2 of the convention interview. Because, like, who would we know? There's another lockdown, and I'm unemployed, and yeah, and I wanted to do that because it's a passion of mine to stay connected with people and, and people in Calgary have some awesome, interesting, empowering stories to share. So I'm your host, Lionel Negrino. My pronouns are he and him, and I like to say after Sam Pete King, King of YYC, but yeah, everyone knows that. But yeah, I'm here today with my good friend Gilly Gasser, and she's the owner and founder of Vana Care and Facial. How are you doing, Gilby?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for having me today, Lionel.
No problem. And I really miss you. We've been way too long. I I I even told her she's like an angel, always supporting me in the beginning with my photography career. So thank you so much for supporting a crazy kid like me since the beginning.
Oh my gosh, of course. I think you're so talented, and we've had so much fun together over the last few years. And I think I'm actually going to need a project from you coming up soon. So I guess everybody stay tuned.
Oh yeah, stay tuned, stay tuned. Are we gonna do our projection, our after shoot projection?
Well, trying to think. What should we do?
Remember, like, remember after a shoot we did go out for drinks.
I think Earl's happy hour is
Oh
definitely a
yeah,
must.
yeah. I think the last actually the last time before lockdown was I was at Earth happy hour. But the last time I like was the last time I was like able to eat with no worry of the world, and then like a few hours later COVID happened. I'm like, yep, not gonna do that ever again.
Oh no, like it's coming soon. In a couple of months, we'll be able to, you know, probably even go back to almost normal, which is kind of exciting.
Definitely, definitely. And like with the lockdown, how are you doing during the lockdown? What have you been up to during this all COVID pandemic situation?
COVID's been a very, I'll call it like an interesting time period in my life. Kind of graduating from engineering school and having all these expectations of what I thought my life would look like. I thought, okay, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to graduate engineering. I'm going to get this super awesome job that I've worked for my whole life for. And then even right before I graduated, it was like COVID hit. Nobody was hiring. And the jobs that I was looking at overseas in Europe weren't really possible anymore. So I kind of had my own kind of like personal crisis. And, but that also kind of enabled me to really spend some time on my own and reflect on the direction that I want to go into next. Because for me, I kind of felt that engineering wasn't really my passion. And I think if it wasn't for COVID, I probably would have deep dived into an engineering job and would have been like, what am I doing? So I took a lot of time, to read, journal, and during that time in COVID, the idea for Vana came to me. So I'm just super passionate about skincare. I really miss going to the spa and getting pampered, as girly as that sounds. So I almost wanted to, I actually like made the experience more so for myself, but then realized, hey, like other people might be interested in an at-home facial with a video to guide you through and make it really relaxing. So that's kind of where that idea came from. But yeah, overall for me, I think COVID has, like many people, just been an absolute roller coaster. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of kind of like dealing with your own internal battles, and then just like figuring out like who you are and really doing some like deep inner work. Yeah.
Man, this is why I admire you because like you like find that like engineering wasn't wasn't for you when you graduate. And I admire you so much for that you take a risk and the risk is like paying off for you. And I'm so proud of you for doing that.
Well, thanks so much, Lana. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. And then like you know like this year I feel like a lot of people are like need to a lot of people reflect on their lives and like the concept of community is important now more than ever. So what does community mean to you and why is it important and what is happening now?
Yeah, I think to me, like community is everything. Um, my friends and my family have just really, been there for me and lifted me up in the times when I needed it. And I think now more than ever, we're kind of seeing this shift in Calgary from really like from purchasing from big stores to actually like now focusing on really supporting local. And I've noticed that in my own business and other businesses. And I think it's just a really awesome shift. I think this should have happened maybe a little bit earlier without COVID, and maybe that's like the great thing about it. But I really feel like a pull from the local Calgary community to just support each other and keep businesses afloat. And kind of through that, I've met just like so many wonderful people and people that just really care and want to take care of their other community members. And so I think that like is one just like amazing thing that you can take out of COVID is this like pull together towards a community. And I think that this feeling will be around to stay. I think this kind of like shift to supporting local and being connected and not having like one business for itself, but being like, we're all in this together. We're all, Calgary business, we're all Canadian business. So like, let's do what we can for, our own people, our city, our country, etc. There's this like strong kind of banding together. And I think that that is just like so special.
Yeah, definitely. And I was noticing that early in the lockdown, like we like the local businesses in Calgary is so supportive with
Mhm.
one another and so connected with one another and they like really the like help help each other out during like good COVID time and like promoting each other in like the various social media accounts and I would like wow you never see that in like if you go to Toronto or like Vancouver you never see that way.
Totally. And I think that there's just like this Calgary feel where everyone is just like very open arms. Like everyone is willing to offer their help. Everyone is just like so kind. And I think there's so many businesses and so many people that are going through a lot right now. And I think just like the world in the city just needs that kindness. And so it's really nice to see.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And like going back to like your company and your business, you started your business during COVID. So what was your information? And I already know your information is me, but besides me, what is your information?
Yeah. So actually, like where it all started is kind of hilarious because I was just in COVID, right when lockdown started, and was pretty bored and started watching ASMR videos, which I had never watched before. And I saw one on an ASMR spa, and I was like thinking, I was like, okay, this is kind of cheesy, but I was like, this kind of is really relaxing. And I was almost embarrassed to like admit it, but I sent it to my best friend. And I was like, hey, you have to see this ASMR video. Picture yourself getting a facial and being at the spa. It feels almost like you're there. And we were just giggling about it. And so then fast forward to the next time we hung out, and we were like, hey, let's watch that video. Let's pour ourselves a glass of wine and like let's do a facial along with it so it feels real, so we can like emulate being at the spa. And then I was kind of thinking about this, and I was like, hey, like why doesn't somebody box this up and sell it? Like this is a pretty cool concept of watching a video with spa music done in an ASMR kind of context. Not quite. I kind of took the ASMR almost like just weirdness out of the video a little bit, so it was more approachable to people, but just have this really calming experience, then have the skincare with it. And I also kind of found with my own skincare journey, there's so much confusion and gray area in skincare. If a lot of people, don't know how to create an at-home facial with 5 steps, and it's really confusing knowing which products you can and cannot use together. And so I wanted to make this experience as simple as possible, and make, facials and skincare experiences that all you have to do is purchase the box. The instructions are there for you. You can use all of them together and in series, and it will produce a certain goal. And so for the very first box, the goal was just to have, calm, hydrated, and really soft, radiant skin. And so that's kind of how it all started.
Dang, dang! I need to get some. I need you to give me gifts.
Okay, well maybe we can work out a little sponsorship deal.
Oh yeah,
Give you
oh
skincare.
yeah. Let
New
let
photos.
let definitely let definitely do that. Let absolutely do that. And well, like I did a bit research before the interview with your Vana care, and I'm really impressed. Like I'm really proud of you coming up with a concept, coming up with a business strategy, coming up with uh being relatable to others and making them feel like their this project is for them, and making sure making sure that they will have the same experience as they would in a Bob, because who knows that when we're able allowed to all go do the spa, right?
Oh, thanks so much, Lina. Yeah, I think there's something so relaxing about, the art of skincare. And also kind of, for me, when I'm stressed out and at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I just like want to do a face mask. There was that meme where there's like, oh, I'll put a face mask on, it'll fix everything. But honestly, sometimes when you take like a few minutes for yourself and you take care of yourself and kind of like honor yourself and put yourself first, I think that can really help, your mental health and your self-confidence. And that's something that I really, I wanted to make apparent with Vana, that I just, I wanted to make this for other people so that they can feel beautiful and feel good about themselves and love themselves.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, definitely, definitely, and like that goes with photography too. Like I noted for myself too. Like when I take photos, I say words of encouragement because I want to get the best side of them, and you know more than anyone that I'm really easy, but I want them to be in the moment and not to worry about like not to worry about like people like looking at them or like the camera, just be in the moment. So keep your best up, and I feel like with your project that you're doing that, you're that building confidence for other people and making sure that they're comfortable in their own skin, and I think that's really important.
Aw, thanks, Vana. And you're right, you do such an amazing job with photography. I've always loved shooting with you because it just doesn't seem intimidating at all, and you're just fun to shoot with. And I think like that's that's so important. Is just like making those things, being present, and like making those things in life fun.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm quite popular.
I know you are.
I don't know why. But yeah, my next question to you is like because yes, what really got me in your company, just what got my eye. You said that your company is all about relaxing, growing, and loving yourself. And you guys are donating part of the proceeds for mental health resources and research. So, why is mental health so important in our society? And why is mental health so important to you personally?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So I just think mental health is something that's like severely overlooked in society, and I think that everybody struggles with mental health. And I've had my own personal health struggles, and I think that mental health needs to be really brought to the forefront in society because it's been pushed down. I think it's, if you're not mentally healthy, you're not physically healthy as well. And I think that every single person on earth only gets one life, and they should be given the opportunity and the tools to live their best possible life. And I've learned from personal experiences that when you don't have your mental health, you don't have anything. So I guess for me, kind of going into my own background and struggle with mental health, I've struggled a lot with very severe anxiety, depression, and then also a skin picking disorder called dermatillomania. And so that's what's really kind of got me into skincare, is because I would always have that anxiety, pick my skin to a point of like, bleeding, scarring, etc. So my life growing up was kind of a battle of how do I control this anxiety, how do I control picking, but also how do I find skincare that doesn't give me any bumps to pick, and then skincare that helps me heal the picking and the scars. So for me, this has been a lifelong battle for me, and it's been something that I work towards every day. And I've kind of had a lot of people that have walked into my life and have helped me overcome a lot of these battles, and it's changed my life. And I think that there's so many things you can do and ways you can help people overcome their mental health illnesses, and people have done that for me, and I want to help do that for other people. And so this was something that's just so important to me with my own company, is kind of like making my own struggles apparent and coming up and being like, hey, I'm not perfect. I struggle. I still struggle. I own a skincare company. My skin's not perfect. um, but and so kind of like going forward a little bit, we're donating $1 from each product sold to a mental health cause. Right now, we're donating to the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. They're just doing a lot of really awesome groundbreaking research in mental health and suicide prevention. And kind of my thought really with Vana is that if I can just like help somebody to find a little bit more peace in their day, or help them to learn to love themselves a little bit more from, doing the facial, or from, what they've seen on Instagram, if I've done that, if I can bring somebody a little bit more peace, joy, self-love, then I can consider myself successful.
Yeah, so beautifully put, and like about mental health, like everyone I've witnessed, and like I've I've experienced everyone has experienced mental health in some capacity even now, and mental health that affect not just like the one person, is affecting everyone around you. When there is a stigma with mental health, especially like especially with like men and boys with mental health, and I think it's good to like having those conversations because people try to like stay away from that conversation and talk about mental health. And like I love how your company is bringing the conversation forward and not liking it.
Yeah, and that's, I think, like that's kind of like my vision for the company, and like to create around me is that like to cut through this like wall of having to hide our emotions and how we feel and how we're doing. It's like, no, like let's lay it out there, let's work through it, let's make it better, and like how can I help you and you can help me. And it's just like it shouldn't be this like thing that we hide away from the world. And I think that like our own struggles are what makes us beautiful and makes us unique. And I think that's also important too. So yeah, I think, and I just really want to create a difference in this space and help people to like be comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah, it's not like I love how you're like about what you say about a spaces because you plan to like create more safer spaces to have
Mhm.
conversations like this because like at the end of the day we're all human, we're not
Mhm.
perfect, but we can all, even though we all have different experience, we need to like listen and to understand one another, and we can relate to one another when we listen to stories.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think listening is just, so important. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And my next question is, what are your hopes for the business? Like, what would you see in your business in 5 years?
Yeah, so that's a really awesome question. So kind of where I see Vana going is I've taken this almost like video ASMR approach to using skincare, and I want to apply that approach to other products and other things. So kind of have this skincare line and these formulations and videos that show you how to use your skincare, and not just have it for a facial, but have it for daytime, nighttime regimes, but then kind of branch it into other kits like insomnia. So having like a sleeping kit with like maybe like a sleeping vape pen with like supplements, and then relaxing videos and meditations to help you sleep. And then taking that to other things like anxiety. So having, an anxiety box, maybe even having tailored anxiety boxes that have, come in the mail and have things that help you cope with anxiety, and have videos that come along with it. So that's kind of where I want to take the company in probably the next 5 years.
Definitely. And you know, I will be there to support you and to let you and in any way I can.
Oh, thanks, Lionel. I appreciate that. You'll
Always.
have to test some of my products.
Yeah. No, we will make a video and then I will test all your photos.
Perfect. Let's do
like
it.
like that that gift that gift that's introduced on YouTube. I'm gonna be like to give away your product.
All right, right on. I like it.
And then I got two more questions for you. So
Mhm.
this one question is a hard question that people don't like me to ask, but I asked anyways, and I borrowed it question from work. Shout out to my home team. Shout out to work. But the next question is, can you give me one word to describe your hopes for tomorrow?
Yeah, okay. So, one word for my hopes for tomorrow, I would have to say growth. So, I guess for me personally, would just be to take what I've learned and to keep growing and to keep learning and bettering myself. And then I think kind of applying this outwards with everything we've gone through with COVID, I would just hope that we take all these lessons and we learn from them, and as individuals and as a society we continue to grow. And I think that's like what I hope to see, and we continue to grow and we continue to learn from our past mistakes. And yeah, so I think that would be my kind of hope for tomorrow, is that we continue to learn, we continue to grow.
Yeah, totally agree. I think the one thing is like with COVID and like the anti-racism movement is here the one thing that is important that people should understand that we all need to learn together, we all need to grow together, and we all need to listen to one another and listen to like people's stories and stay connected.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's like my one hope for like all of this, is that like I hope that everybody takes something out of it, and like I hope that people realize how important, connection is, and people. And I think that like now, once these restrictions are lifted again, I hope that like everyone kind of like values how important, time with loved ones is, especially in person. And yeah, so like I I think and I really hope that people carry that with them, and I hope it lasts for a really long time.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And my last question is, what advice would you give people going through the second lockdown and going to COVID? What advice will you offer people watching this?
Um, I would say, have hope. Find things in your day, in your home, whatever it is that gets you out of bed and that keeps you excited and energized, whether that's a few good books or heck if it's a TV show, but something to work towards and something that makes you feel hopeful. Or, what if it's working out for a few hours a day in your kitchen or whatever? Just find that thing that gives you hope and happiness and like hold on to that. And, this is the second lockdown, so we're almost, I know it's hard, but we're almost there. There's going to be a vaccine soon. So just, stay positive as much as you can, tell people you love them, and hold on to whatever it is that gives you hope.
Definitely. And I give you an example. For
Yeah.
example,
Mhm.
this week wasn't my best week, but
Mhm.
talking to you and having an interview with you was making me have hope for me to survive the week. So thank you.
Oh, I know, that's so sweet. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that so much. Yeah, like conversations like this, like it gets me excited. I did my hair today. But
Oh,
yeah, like
beautiful. Love it. Love it. I did notice. I did notice that.
all the things. um, yeah, it's awesome. I think like it's so important to, I know we can't see everybody for Christmas, but it's just so important to stay connected and have conversations and also be honest with how you're feeling. If you're feeling like you're having a shit day and you're, feeling depressed or feeling anxious, like tell somebody about it, talk about it, and because we're all going through that. We're all having days where we're like, this is awful. Like this, it's not ideal. It's not what we would want to be happening right now. Of course not. So I think it's a tough time for everyone. So I guess also too on top of that, it's just like be compassionate with yourself too. If you're having a
Yeah.
bad day, that's okay. If you don't feel like doing anything today, that's okay. And just like having that like self-love and self-respect and self-compassion, to just like honor whatever it is that you need.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I want to say thank you so much, Joey, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Oh, yeah, by the way, the next, by the way, do you, before I sign off,
Mhm.
do you got any people that I should interview next? Any
Sure.
people in mind?
What do you want people more like in the mental health field? What?
Any field. I'm really passionate about mental health too. I'm an advocate for mental health issues, so we can talk about mental health.
Yeah. I actually have like this list on Instagram of like people that I just like find interesting and inspiring. So why don't I share that with you? Because like there's just like so many awesome people doing cool things in the community. I can't really think of like who's all on that list right now off the top of my head, but
Definitely. Okay, so, yeah, so I wanna say bye guys, take care, and yeah, be kind to one another. Like what can we say, have a little bit of hope because we're all in this together. Bye.